What's up, everybody? Got another episode of Debate Squad going today. And today you got a new host, Lala Moten. She's going to be the moderator for our Debate Squad segment. So make sure you guys show her love as she tries to do the best job she possibly can. I know she's going to do a great job. That's why she's here. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Lala and we're going to get started today.
Thank you for that great introduction. So we're just going to jump right into it. So there's a lot of debate as to whether or not players are over or underrated. You know, we are all athletes here, so we all know how that goes. You know, fans around the world pick and choose whether or not a person, you know, deserves to live up to their expectations. But this one player has tons of conversation surrounding him, and that player is Devin Booker. So I just want to know, you know, continuously I hear things, you know, he's overrated, he's underrated. And, you know, I would define someone who's overrated as someone who's continuously hyped, but doesn't live up to that hype. And I just want to know, do you guys think Devin Booker has lived up to the hype or any expectations that have been placed on him? I'm going to go with Trayvon first, and then we're just going to go around.
This is specifically at K because I know how she coming today. Devin Booker is overrated. And it's not even a question because people think that Devin Booker is an MVP caliber player, which number-wise, he's putting up great numbers. He's efficient as hell. I can't knock that. But he's on the worst team, not the worst, one of the worst teams in the league. They're in the bubble. All right, cool. They've been going crazy. They're like 7-0. I get that. But before Devin Booker got there, they had Eric Bledsoe, Goran Dragic, I think Chandler, Isaiah Thomas, you know, some guys, and they won 39 games, right? And with Devin Booker there running the show, first season 23, second season 24, third season 21, then it went down to 19 last year, and now it's back up to 31, 32. So if you're so great, you got all the stats, all these numbers, why is when you're leading the show, you got the team gets worse? And the squad that they had before them, not even crazy. The guys are named, not even all-stars on that team. But now you're supposed to be an all-star, and the team gets worse. So he's definitely overrated, and that's just how I feel about it.
Kaylin, I want you to go next because I see you have some, you know, head nods, and you're giving us some.
Okay. Respectfully, I disagree. What are we talking about here? No, seriously, what are we talking about, Trey? Like, first of all, we're talking about a player, not a team. It's about a player, not a team. You talking about their team gets worse. What does that have to do with Devin Booker himself? Look at what he's doing, right? You have to build a team, right? Which means it's not going to just be overnight. The Suns been trash forever. I mean, not forever. Don't get me wrong, my bad, Steve Nash, whatever. But they've been trash. So when you get an all-star caliber player, it's going to take some time to rebuild. When they got their opportunity, which they have now, what is he doing when the lights come on? What is he doing? He's averaging, 30 in a bubble? Only team undefeated. He's playing top teams. Come on, we know how hard the West is.
AAU basketball.
What else
Come on now. It's AAU basketball we're playing right now. Come on.
One thing that we're talking about the player. You know, the question was.
The player is Devin Booker.
Is
not the Suns.
Overrated. You're right.
Come on now, you got to answer the question. All your reasonings had to do with the Suns. Nothing had to do with Devin Booker. It was because the Suns failed. No, that's not enough for me.
If the team was doing better without you, obviously you're overrated because you're not helping the team. What you're doing doesn't matter as much.
Okay. I got a question. So, without Devin Booker, are they undefeated in the bubble?
Oh my God, the bubble.
The
bubble. Before the bubble, they were still one of the worst teams in the league.
All right, so we bringing up old stuff. Okay. I'm going by what I see now.
Oh my gosh.
I don't care about it. Okay.
I would say that Devin Booker been snapping though, like before the Suns, like he been like, you know what I'm saying? He been that. For me personally, I feel like he's underrated. You know, honestly, I don't think he get enough credit for what he do.
He knows something.
Yeah. Nah, he be putting on. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow him like that, but he definitely is. I would pick him up. That's what I'm gonna say. I would.
He be snapping. Yo, try to tell you.
All right, so look. I'm gonna give some numbers real quick. First of all, if he's overrated or underrated, I think we gotta rate him first. So like I think that's the very first objective. So we gotta give him a number in the top 5 or top 10, whatever we want to say in terms of shooting guards. Then we can deem if he's overrated or underrated. But just off of the numbers, I mean, look, bro, it's the NBA. So the high usage rate, the higher tempo, going up and down the court, your numbers are going to be inflated. In 17 to 18, he was minus 6.6 in the plus and minus. All right. 18-19, he was minus 5.2. All right. Right now, he's plus 1.4. All right. So Klay Thompson has never been in the minus in his entire career. All right, in his entire career,
He played for the
Warriors weren't that good when he got there.
Klay Thompson, though. Klay Thompson
wasn't that good when he got there.
He plays for the Warriors.
I'm just giving a comparison.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
That is fair.
Unfair. Look at his team, of course. Look at his team.
His plus minus is what he adds to the game.
You just called him an MVP candidate, and none of us are calling Klay Thompson an MVP candidate. And Klay Thompson has never been in the plus or minus. And I'm going to give you right now, when he came in the league, the Warriors weren't that good when he first came in the league. All right? His best plus minus, Klay Thompson has had 3 years when he's been in plus 10, bro. Let that marinate. Let that sink in. All right? When you're minus 6, it don't matter. It doesn't matter how good your team is. When you're minus 6, that's you. The team is worse when you're on the court.
Exactly.
You're on the floor.
Oh my God, that's subjective. That's a subjective fact. Come on, that's a subjective fact.
I can't look. I'm just giving you the metrics.
No, that fact isn't valid.
My dog Kyron came out with the numbers. You can't even.
Hey, Trey said come out with the money.
Yo, it's a subjective number though.
Listen,
come on. Oh my God.
Listen, man. We are talking about Devin Booker, Mr. 70 points.
There we go.
In year 2. Year 2, 70. Who else has put up 70?
In a loss? No one's ever
Who's
done
put up 70?
No one's ever done
Who's put up 70?
Answer the
No one's ever
question.
done a lot.
Ask question.
Kobe and Wilt.
That's it.
And they won.
Yeah.
And they won.
Okay.
Listen. Devin Booker, very gifted scorer, can get a bucket all kind of different ways. Personally, I think he's rated just right. I don't see him as too high. I don't see him as too low because, on one hand, offensively, like he's unmatched. His talent and potential is there. Everybody sees that. And I think that people feel that he is underrated because he hasn't been on those winning teams. He hasn't been in the limelight as much. Right now in the bubble, they're undefeated, because they're undefeated, it's showing. So, like Trey said, his first 4 years there, they didn't improve at all. They were hovering around 20 wins that entire time. And it wasn't until just now when DeAndre Ayton started getting going that they started to actually build up some wins.
So now, it takes time.
It does take time. It does. But I'm saying that he wasn't getting the recognition before because they weren't even in the conversation. Like, let me give you an example. DeMar DeRozan, when he left Toronto, we don't hear about him at all anymore. But his numbers look about the same as when he made all NBA teams. But because he's not on a winning team, we don't see nothing about him anymore.
You guys wanted to talk about Klay Thompson. So since we're talking about shooting guards, I want you guys to rate your top 3 shooting guards in the league right now.
Oh, for it. James Harden, number 1. Untouchable, unguardable. Come on, 37 points a game. Or what is it, 34 now? Like, MVP, James Harden far exceeds anybody else in there. In fact, among shooting guards, believe it or not, James Harden has the highest amount of defensive win shares. Isn't that crazy?
Oh.
You would think he doesn't play any defense. He doesn't play.
Who is he guarding?
Too far now.
Who is he guarding?
Here we go. Will you give him a
number?
You saw him at the end of the Milwaukee game. He was taking Giannis head on.
Yeah. Numbers are numbers. Remember
He's
that?
number one. He's number one. Okay, who you got for two? Who you got for two?
Number 2, I'm going Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's number 2. He's capable on offense and defense. Back to defensive win shares, he has more than Devin Booker or Bradley Beal or anybody else in that conversation outside of James Harden. His points per game, he's been having to share the ball with Steph and KD, in the heights of his career. So, those aren't going to be as high. But come on, 37 points in one quarter. And on top of that, the Warriors use him to guard whoever the other team's best player is day in and day out. So he can do it on both sides. That's why I like Klay at number 2. And my number 3, I'm going to go with Bradley Beal.
My man.
Now, let me preface this by saying
Washed.
Devin Booker is close. He will get there in the next year or two. But right here, right now, I'm taking Bradley Beal. And here's why. Bradley Beal had the Wizards in playoff conversation solely by himself. There is no other player on that team that you could probably even name off the top of your head.
Is D Book not doing the same thing right now?
DeAndre Ayton is a number 1 draft pick.
Number 1.
Bigs in the league already.
No, so is D Book not making the Suns right now on his own a possible playoff contender?
No, definitely not by himself.
They're
By
9-0
himself,
in the
you saw
bubble.
what he did by himself. 20 wins a season. That's what he did by himself.
What is he doing right now? What is he doing right now?
Right now, he has
Right now.
he has better players around him. He has a better team around him. And he's definitely delivering. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is Bradley Beal, right here, right now, is doing it by himself. He has the G League All-Stars out there with him. Like, you just can't compare that. You can't compare that. He's doing it by himself.
I agree with you. I ain't got nothing to say. That's straight up.
I got nothing to say. That's the 3 I have.
All right, mine is different.
Oh, here we go. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going James Harden 1 because he's the MVP to me.
Like
2, I'm going Klay. I gotta be respectful, right? I did say D Book at first, but I gotta be respectful. Klay done did, let me be honest here, okay? 3, I'm going D Book without a question. I mean, it's everything Trey said, I believe the exact opposite. Like, what are we talking about here? D Book. That's it, that's all.
Okay, what about you, John?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm gonna follow the trend. James Harden, Klay Thompson, and then I'm gonna say JJ Redick. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Boy been about ever, and he gets off.
Hey, I almost threw my phone.
I'm going JJ Redick, man. Boy, man, he clutch as ever. He been in the league forever, and you know what I'm saying? He's definitely a Hall of Famer all the way. There's no playing that. I'm taking JJ. First of all, he gonna lead the team. I'm taking JJ over D Book, and that's just what we're gonna leave.
Did he just say JJ Redick? Yo, how many? Oh my God!
JJ Redick 36, and he'll really give Devin Booker a bucket.
What is JJ Redick average? JJ Redick. There's no way you're serious. I'm sorry.
JJ Redick hasn't been a number 1 option since Duke.
Hey, don't disrespect JJ Redick, Duke, though.
JJ Redick has started on every single team he's been. JJ Redick has came out and played every single time, and he's old as shit. Like, he's about 40.
Has he ever been an All-Star?
No.
Yes.
When? What year? Please.
Check that.
We're gonna fact check it right now. In 06, he was the Naismith Player of the Year, so stop playing with him.
Oh, we're going back to
College. Listen.
He's talking about college, yo.
Oh, my God.
He ain't made no All-Star team. He ain't made no All-Star team. But.
So now the best duo in the league, I mean, I would say unarguably is LeBron and Davis right now. And in a recent interview, LeBron actually said that having Davis on his team is everything that he dreamed of. He went on to call him one of, the best players he's ever played with, and he's a unicorn type player. So my question to you is, do you think that Anthony Davis has showed that he can lead the Lakers to win a championship, or do you think that the pressure still has to be on LeBron?
Yeah, of course Anthony Davis can lead the Lakers to a championship, but he's, at the end of the day, he's not a wing. So LeBron still has to be dominant, or some wings, whoever has to be dominant. And obviously we're just going to go on LeBron because he has the ball in his hands more often than Anthony Davis does. He has to be dominant. I mean, Anthony Davis is the MVP candidate when he's healthy. Like, it's not get twisted. I mean, he was a walking double-double when he was in New Orleans. He's still walking double-double now. All right, so you throw the ball down to Anthony Davis, he's going to give you a bucket. His defensive win shares, we all know what he is on the defensive side. But again, it's 2020, it's the NBA. So whoever has the ball in their hands has to be able to step back and give me a trade ball on a consistent basis. And right now, Anthony Davis obviously can't really do that just because that's not his game. So he can lead them. He can be the leading scorer on that squad, but LeBron has to be dominant.
He's going to have to prove that to me. I'll be honest with you. You know, AD in the bubble has been garbage. He has been garbage. You know, right now, in the bubble, he has been garbage. He's shooting 42%, averaging 21 points per game in the bubble. Shooting 29% from three. You know, in the bubble, Anthony Davis has not made a single mid-range jump shot. Yet here he is continuously shooting them. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, he has to play back to the basket throughout the game. You know, that's part of his talent. You know, he's able to mix it up. But I think he's gotten way too comfortable at that three-point line. Actually, in the bubble, he is taking 5% more threes than he did outside of the bubble. And at 29%, he's missing them. So I think he needs to become more consistent, because what I've seen recently is extremely inconsistent. He'll have one game, he'll have, 14 points, and then the next game he'll have 40. There's not many players in the league that can just flip it on and off like that. And especially right now, when you're in the bubble, your environment's not changing, it's hard to get out of a slump. And he doesn't want to get caught in a position where, he's unable to contribute like we know that he can. And then in the end, that just means he underachieved, because after LeBron and AD, the Lakers, like, who else is there? Kuz has shown some flashes, but outside of that, even he's inconsistent. Nobody else, none of their other bench players or role players, they're not hitting shots, and they're just simply not getting the job done. So if AD isn't able to step up more than he has in the bubble thus far, Lakers are in trouble.
Respectfully. Y'all are disrespecting AD, and I think that the question is, can he? Yes, he can. Simple as that. You know what I mean? He's top 5 in the league for a reason. Come on, he's top. I think if the question was, will he? Then your argument is valid, right? I get it. He hasn't been playing how he's been playing all season, whatever. Been a little bit inconsistent. Not as aggressive. Feel like he's like chilling, taking the back seat. But let's not forget what he did. When he saved Bron. It just happened. What was it? The first game of the bubble they played. What was it? Come on.
Yeah.
So but, he can. He can.
On the other end of that, though, can LeBron and AD do everything that they did on both sides of the ball, both offense and defense, for multiple 7-game series? After 4 months off, that depth is going to be real important. We know that things inside the bubble are completely different than anything that was before. Everything that happened before almost doesn't even matter anymore. I mean, come on. The Phoenix Suns are about to go 8-0. Bubble basketball is completely different. And I need AD to show me. He needs to show me. I think he can.
Yeah, show me though, bro.
Stop you right there. Hold on. Let me stop you right there.
All right, Trey.
I'm glad you brought up the fact you said bubble basketball is different. We are talking about 6 games, and AD's playing garbage in 6 games. Anthony Davis, a perennial all-star, top 5 player in the league, arguably the best big man in the league outside of Giannis. We're talking about 6 games, and we lost all faith in him. When he's carried the Lakers as a leading scorer, rebounder, shot blocker, defensive player all season. And we talk about 6 games, we had 4 months off. He hasn't had time to get back in rhythm. As a big, you need to have time to get back in rhythm. And we're going to judge him off of that. Now, come on now. Come on.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful.
This is all I have to go off of, because again, bubble basketball is completely different. It's completely different.
What about game 1? What about game 1 of bubble basketball?
Hey, game 1 he was great.
What did he do?
Game 1 he was sensational.
And they
game
were
1 he
actually
was
playing
sensational.
for something at that point. They clinched after 2-3 games. They clinched the number 1 seed. They haven't been playing for anything.
I'm not saying he's not capable, but he's gonna have to show me that in the bubble he can do what he has done before.
So then
because right now, all of this up and down.
So your answer is yes, basically. He can.
My answer is he needs to show me.
He can.
I believe he can, but he needs to show me.
Now we're going to switch the tempo up a little bit, and we're going to focus our energy on the NFL. And for those of you guys who might not know, their regular season schedule came out, and they said that they're going to be hosting a 17-week period beginning on September 10th, which means that we officially have less than 1 month for the long-awaited season. Now, my question to you guys is, if you guys could start your own NFL team, who would you want your quarterback to be and why?
Easy. Brady. Thank you. That's it. That's all.
Like right now,
he's the GOAT for a reason.
Hey, talk to you. Go ahead.
He's the GOAT for a reason. Come on, let's be respectful here. Let's be respectful here. Come on. Brady. He's the GOAT for a reason. Come on. I understand the let's stop being, what you say, Trey, you love to say, let's stop being prisoners of the moment. You love to say that. Can we for 1 second? You feel, granted, Mahomes crazy, right? We know this. But Tom Brady's the GOAT for a reason.
I definitely pick Tom Brady because, I mean, he simply has already showed it. Like, career, like he has a whole legit career. Granted, it was at, the Patriots with with Bill Belichick and everything, but you just don't do that though. You know what I'm saying? There's quarterbacks out here who just wouldn't be able to do that, like, in general, so I feel like Brady is still valid regardless. And he's done it. So I would put my money on Brady personally.
I definitely disagree. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to tell you why. Tom Brady is a system quarterback. He thrived in the Patriots system. So let me ask you something. When was any time that you saw a Patriots quarterback struggle?
That's facts.
Okay. Tom Brady missed 4 games in 2016. Jimmy G, during that time, 68% completion rate and a 113 QBR, which actually finished the season higher than Tom Brady did, who finished at 112. Okay. 2008, Tom Brady was out with a knee injury. Matt Castle took the Patriots. He went 10-5 with them, got a playoff berth without Tom Brady. Because he was hurt. So there's never been a time that we have seen under Bill Belichick that a Patriots quarterback has struggled, because it's all a part of their system. The accolades that he has won makes him great, but he has gotten to that point because he was able to thrive in a system under Belichick. In fact, Brady actually last year ranked 24th among starting quarterbacks in yards in the air passing, which means Brady's doing nothing but throwing them quick slants anyway. So I can get any quarterback to do that. Now Mahomes, boy, don't get me started on Mahomes. Super Bowl MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, came back from multiple double-digit deficits, has one of the strongest arms in the league. He's able to scramble and extend plays even further. Like, you just can't compare that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tom Brady is great, but great does not always equal the best.
Yeah, Tom Brady is great because Bill Belichick made him great, and he will go down for the next, I guess, like 5 to 7 years as being the GOAT, because by that time, Patrick Mahomes will be the new GOAT, because Patrick Mahomes is twice as good of a quarterback as Tom Brady could have ever been. He has a stronger arm. He's more mobile. He will have more receiving weapons to put up way better numbers, and so his career would basically be like LeBron and Jordan at some point, because you're gonna look at, okay, Tom Brady 6 rings, Patrick Mahomes might get 3, but the difference between the LeBron and Jordan argument and Tom Brady Patrick Mahomes argument will be that Patrick Mahomes will obviously be the better player. It's not even gonna be close. Like if you took what Patrick Mahomes done in his first 2-3 years, and you stretch it out, obviously with age and everything in the long run, into how long Brady's been playing, 20 years, it wouldn't even be close. Like, if he keeps this up, it's not even close. I mean, it's easy. To me, it's easy.
And then on top of that, the man said he didn't even know how to read defenses until last year's playoffs. So now that he knows, you better watch out.
Look, I mean, so this is what I want to say. Brady had a chance to ease his way into his role. His first 3 Super Bowls, he wasn't the best player on the Patriots. Let's just get that out. And I am a huge Tom Brady fan. He's the best ever, so I don't think it's even close. And he's gonna be best ever until Mahomes gets close to is it 5 or 6 rings now, which is absurd, right? I mean, that's the same that Michael Jordan has. All right. So we're talking about football, but the first 3 rings, he wasn't the best player on that team. That defense was absolutely stifling. That defense was unreal. It was stupid. All right. You had Teddy Bruschi, you had Richard Seymour, you had Ty Law, you had Rodney Harrison. That defense was loaded, and you had Bill Belichick. And I will say that Mahomes, since the moment that he started, has been the best player on the Chiefs. All right. And that's been bar none. He was the best player on the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. He was the best player on the Chiefs throughout the playoffs. He was the best player on the Chiefs as a rookie when he came in through halfway the season. So when they game planned for the Chiefs, it was to stop Patrick Mahomes. When they game planned for the Patriots, it was not necessarily to stop Tom Brady, until Tom Brady obviously grew into his role. So right now, I'm taking the 24-year-old, bro. I'm taking the kid.
So we're going to switch gears again, and we're going to go to something that actually hits home for all of us, because we all play college sports. The world's permanently changed, obviously. We're in a pandemic. And despite everyone's personal opinions, about the pandemic and whether or not they believe it's serious or not, we can't disregard the facts, which are that the U.S. alone has over 5 million diagnosed cases. So, that's stifling. We have the most ever in the whole world. So despite the country's current crisis, people are still talking about sports. We all love sports. And today, the Big Ten Conference actually postponed all their fall sports. And the Pac-12 also today postponed all sports. So that's football, basketball through the end of the year. And surprisingly, the ACC and the SEC say football plans remain unchanged. So as of right now, they're going to have a season. I would love to hear what you guys think. Should college athletes be able to compete in their sport during this time, even despite what we're going through with COVID?
Start that on, brother.
I mean, I think it's not possible for college athletes to compete in sports, and it's not even like smart. Obviously, we play college sports, and we know that it's like one of the greatest things ever. Like being an athlete, being able to play college sports, play at the highest level you possibly can play at, like for fun, and just having your college years all together at once. I mean, it's nothing like it. But you're not getting paid to do that, and this is a serious issue. Like this is not just some random thing that's training for a little while. This COVID thing is taking lives daily and by large numbers. And if you're telling me that you're willing to risk your life, and just for fun, like I can't see a scenario where you can say that it's worth it and that they should be doing it. So I don't think they should play, but I definitely understand why they want to play, because I definitely would have been sad if I couldn't play my senior season or just be able to finish my career out. So I say no.
Yeah, hell no. Like unless they're getting paid, unless you're trying to get some hazard pay, like no, there's no way that you should have the ability to force a quote unquote student athlete to play if I'm not comfortable, if I'm fearful for my life. There's no way.
There's actually reports saying that the Big 12 actually might have a season, like that they decided to continue playing the season. So as of now, it looks like the MAC is the only school that's dropped out for
Michigan did.
or opted out for the whole season. I'm part of the MAC, so for me, I've always kept an optimistic standpoint on just life in general. If we would have played, I'd have loved it. This is my 5th year, so I'd have went crazy. Definitely would have enjoyed it, but with it being postponed, now I have an opportunity to get the rest of my masters. I have the opportunity to learn the defense more. So it also really depends on the program. Some of these schools don't have the money to keep up um, for all of the COVID things and pay their players or, treat the players they should be treated in such time. So it gets real tricky. But for me, I would postpone the season. I would say everybody just stop what they're doing. Let's run us back next fall, next spring, just to, make sure everybody's safe and make sure, everyone's comfortable.
I like it. I think you guys all had great points, and we all came to a consensus that there should not be any sports